Hello, Mr. Harvey, and thank you for joining us today for this press conference. Mr. Harvey, you played one tough game this past week, and you had a lot of pressure on your side because it was your first ever college game and your first ever game with the SMU Mustangs. And obviously you lost, but it was a very close game, the closest game that SMU has had in a while, especially against a good team like Tulane. Obviously you have a lot to fix, so how are you going to deal with all this pressure that's been put on you?
Obviously, we lost the game, and, well, we're not too upset by it. We're not too disappointed because it didn't truly mean anything at the end of the day. It was just going to be another win in our record book. But, there was nothing to do with that. It wouldn't have helped us, brought us to the championship. It wouldn't have done anything. But people were thinking and saying how I should be wanting to win my first game and I should be upset that I lost my first ever college game. But I was brought in this late in the season, the last week, that I didn't have a lot of time to work with these guys. But now, as the season has ended, I have a whole new roster to work with and a lot of young talent that'll be coming in out of high school. And, so there's a lot to work with, obviously. And it's been hard these past few days. I mean, our coaching staff is just terrible. I've been trying to upgrade that. And I've been giving more motivation to this team. And, if we want to win a championship, we got to strive for it. We can't just take one step at a time. My father always told me, in order to have standards, you have to have standards. And therefore, my standard is the standard.
Huh? What does that even mean? Coach Harvey, how do you feel about the game that was played by your roster and your team this past week against Tulane?
I will say for one thing that we weren't the best on paper, but we have been the best. We were the best that we have been in a very long time. We forced a good amount of turnovers, held them to about only 2 touchdowns. In our offense, we made some pretty good plays down the field, making some good passes. Our run game was not the best, but we made some good passes. Driscoll, when we threw 1 interception, which he's normally bound to throw 4 or 5. And we did have a fumble, but none of them were turnover fumbles. And we did get a lot of touchdowns, but yeah, I think we did put up a pretty good game.
Well, according to your stat board, your QB had a very bad passer rating, throwing a good bit of incomplete passes, and your receivers had a lot of drop passes.
Well, I will say that obviously we have had a struggling season, so bearing that in mind, it's not that big of a deal.
Your O-line, it's not good at blocking. QB got sacked a lot. Hey, can you shut up, please?
Thank you. Get that idiot out of here.
We're incredibly sorry about that, Mr. Harvey. Our next question is, how do you feel about the wrong decision? Some people are calling it the wrong decision that you made to not kick the field goal in the final seconds of the game.
After that game, after we walked back to the locker rooms, we got our stuff packed, and we went out of there, I realized deep in my head that I made the wrong decision that night of going for the touchdown. I did not put enough faith into my kicker, Davis. He's probably one of the worst. He's ranked at the bottom of kicker accuracy here in college, but I should have put my faith into him, and it costed us the game. So, yeah, I will admit I made a really huge mistake on that part, and I'm deeply sorry for the people that were upset by that call I made.
Well, Mr. Harvey, there's one more question that we're going to ask you here before we go and let you do your training, I guess, for the rest of the season, before the next season starts. And, do you think you have what it takes to get SMU back to the top? And if so, how are you going to do it?
Well, I don't necessarily have a whole plan mapped out in my head, but I will say we've made a lot of mistakes. This team has made a lot of mistakes. But I'm eager, and I'm ready to try and bring them back to the top. I don't care how much blood, sweat, and tears go into this game. The game of football. I don't care how well we do. I don't care how much of a struggle it is. I don't care how easy it is. We will make it back to the top next season. With a whole new team coming in, a whole bunch of new stars coming in, we're bringing this team back to the top. And we're ready for it. SMU Nation is ready for it. And the rest of Conference USA and the ACC should be ready for it. Any more questions? All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey, and we wish you very good luck on your rebuilding of the SMU Mustangs, and we will hear from you again when the high school picking time comes up. Thank you.